Hello, I'm Chris Johnson, attorney at McGinnis Elder Care Law. This is part 3 in our series about how to create a successful VA application for pension benefits. In our previous videos, we discussed the need for documentation and verification for all of the veterans' assets and financial information, as well as the myriad of forms required by the VA for a complete application and fully developed claim status. In this video, I will talk about the VA application process and the pro tips that separate successful claims from those that get stuck in the system. First, the VA application process is a Byzantine system where getting sidetracked once can put the claimant months behind. I often tell clients that it is better to take a few additional days on the front end than rush an application and pay for it with months of delay on the back end. Every application needs to have the supporting documents, or verifications, as we call them, supplied to the VA in a neat and orderly manner. If they are thrown in the application like receipts in a shoebox that some people take to their tax preparers, you will inevitably get sidetracked. You want your application to be easily digestible by the claims processor so that they can find everything they are looking for quickly and easily. The easier you make it on the claims processor, the faster your claim will go through. To that end, every application should have a VA Form 4138 Statement in Support of Claim cover sheet that gives an overview of what is in the application, highlights any special circumstances, and answers any immediate questions that may come to the claims processor's mind. Further, on every submission to the VA, ensure that if you are over age 85, dealing with dire or terminal medical issues, or are financially in duress, that you highlight this on the cover sheet and request that your claim be expedited in its processing due to any of those issues that apply. Expedited review is supposed to ensure that claims get priority processing and is reviewed at least every 7 business days. We have seen expedited review help to receive a response from the VA in under 30 days, a far better result than the average 120 days that is normally seen. Also, if you are applying for aid and attendance in addition to the non-service connected pension, the VA Form 2680 is vitally important. The Form 2680 is the medical evaluation completed by your doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician's assistant. The most important aspect of this form is that it is filled out accurately and comprehensively. If there is white space for the provider to add detail, encourage them to provide as much detail as possible. I never tell a provider what to say, but like any document drafted for someone else's review, I certainly want them to know who their audience is and what the information they are looking for. And as one of my former teachers used to say to our class, I can't read between the lines if there aren't lines to read between. This one document will often be the only medical documentation used to determine eligibility to aid and attendance. The provider should paint a word picture and provide the VA with as much information as possible. I will often ask the client to request back-to-back appointments so that the provider can do the examination in one slot and fill out the form in the other slot. Medical offices are so very busy these days that it can be difficult for them to find time to complete unexpected paperwork. If you work with the office, often they will be very appreciative for factoring this in. Further, it may be necessary to gently remind the provider that all of the information under the sun does no good if it is not legible. The claims processor must be able to read the information provided for it to be effective. If there are limitations for the claimant, those need to be put up front, not buried in the middle of a paragraph, and the activities they are asking about are pass-fail activities. If an individual cannot put on their shoes and socks, they cannot dress themselves. If an individual cannot prepare a meal without catching the kitchen on fire, they cannot prepare their own meals. Calling a fire department is not a reasonable result of preparing your own meal. Our whole lives, we have the mindset of emphasizing what we can do. For this application, it is important to emphasize what we cannot do. These may seem like small tips, but they can make big differences when processing your application. We always encourage veterans to work with VA-accredited professionals and get expert guidance on completing VA applications. Getting it done right the first time makes all the difference.